So we are going to see the maxillary artery and the vein. So this is the head of the mandible and this is the neck of the mandible, and ramus of the mandible and the coronoid process has been removed to visualize the infratemporal fossa. Okay. So already we have discussed there is a muscle in the infratemporal fossa. It is a key muscle of the infratemporal fossa. What is that muscle? Lateral pterygoid muscle. Good. So lateral pterygoid muscle will be having two heads. So this is the upper head and this is the lower head. Okay, fine. So which is the artery of the infratemporal fossa? It is a maxillary artery. So what is the maxillary artery? Maxillary artery is a terminal branch of the external carotid artery. The external carotid artery gives two terminal branches. One is going to the temporal area. So what is that artery? It is a superficial temporal artery. And the other terminal branch is the maxillary artery, which is the artery of the infratemporal fossa. The maxillary artery is divided into three parts by the lateral pterygoid muscle. So what are the three parts? The three parts are between the origin, from the origin up to the lateral pterygoid muscle. This is the first part of the maxillary artery. The second part of the maxillary artery passes over or sometimes behind the lateral pterygoid muscle. Then the third part of the maxillary artery passes between the two ends of the lateral pterygoid, then enters into a fossa here. What is that fossa? The pterygopalatine fossa. So third part of the maxillary artery is located in the pterygopalatine fossa. So maxillary artery is the artery of the infratemporal fossa. It is divided into three parts. So which muscle divides it into three parts? Lateral pterygoid muscle. So what are the three parts? From the origin up to the lower part of the lateral pterygoid is the first part. In front of the lateral pterygoid or behind the lateral pterygoid is the second part. Third part is within the pterygopalatine fossa. Then what are the branches of the maxillary artery? So we'll see what are the branches from the first part of the maxillary artery. First part will give a branch here that will go and supplies the ear. So what is that artery? This artery is called as a deep auricular artery. First part, deep auricular artery. Then gives another branch that is called as a anterior tympanic artery. Then it gives another branch that passes deep to the lateral pterygoid muscle. Then it enters through a small foramen behind the foramen ovale into the middle cranial fossa. So what is that foramen? This is a foramen spinosum. So what is the artery passing through that? This artery is nothing but the middle meningeal artery. So third branch is the middle meningeal artery. And again it gives another branch that passes along with the mandibular nerve within the foramen ovale. So what is that artery? This is the accessory meningeal artery. Okay. So deep auricular artery, anterior tympanic, middle meningeal artery, accessory meningeal artery. Another branch which is coming from the inferior aspect that will enter into the mandibular foramen, and along with the inferior alveolar nerve it passes through the mandibular canal. So what is that artery? Inferior alveolar artery. Right. So first part of the maxillary artery gives five branches. They are deep auricular, anterior tympanic, middle meningeal, accessory meningeal, and inferior alveolar artery. Then what are the branches of the second part of the maxillary artery? Second part of the maxillary artery gives the muscular branches, and all these branches corresponds to the branches of anterior division of the mandibular nerve. So what are the branches you know? One is the deep temporal artery supplying the temporalis muscle, and it gives branches to the lateral pterygoid, and it also gives branches to medial pterygoid, and gives masseteric branch, and one more sensory branch from the anterior mandibular nerve we have seen. What is that? Buccal nerve, right? So the artery which is arising from that, accompanying that is the buccal artery. So deep temporal artery and artery to the lateral pterygoid, artery to the medial pterygoid, masseteric artery, and the buccal artery. All these are branches of the second part of the maxillary artery. And what are the branches from the third part within the pterygopalatine fossa? So all these branches from the third part of maxillary artery will be passing through some foramen. The branches are, one is the posterior superior alveolar artery. So that supplies the upper jaw. Then another artery passes through the infraorbital groove. That artery is the infraorbital artery. Then another artery passes through a foramen called as a greater palatine foramen. That artery is called as a greater palatine artery. Then another artery which is called as a pharyngeal artery. Then one more branch that is called as artery of pterygoid canal. Then the last branch is the continuation of the maxillary artery into the nasal cavity, that is called as the sphenopalatine artery. So how many branches are there in the third part? So almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 branches are there, right? So in mnemonic it is called as a PAGPAS, P-A-G-P-A-S. First part it is called as a D-A-M-A-I, Damai. Okay, so these are all the branches of the maxillary artery. Okay, so in this picture we can see the branches of the maxillary artery. So what is this? So this is nothing but the external carotid artery, and this is the maxillary artery. So maxillary artery gives a branch. Can you see this branch? This is the deep auricular artery, and the second branch here is the anterior tympanic artery. And here you can see that part of the mandible has been removed so that we can see the first part. This part is the first part of the maxillary artery. Here you can see a branch here. This branch passes through the foramen spinosum behind the lateral pterygoid. So this is the middle meningeal artery. And then another branch going downwards along with the inferior alveolar nerve. So what is this artery? This is the inferior alveolar artery, and another branch will go behind, passes along with the mandibular nerve. That artery will be the accessory meningeal artery, right? Then so this part over the lateral pterygoid is the second part of the maxillary artery. Here you can see it gives a deep temporal artery to the temporalis muscles. Then it gives the, here you can see the artery passes along with the nerve here over the buccinator muscle. So these are the buccal nerves and the vessels, buccal nerve and vessels. Okay. Then you can see a branch to the medial pterygoid here, and there is a branch to the lateral pterygoid here, and the mesenteric branch here. So these are the branches of the second part of the maxillary artery, and up from this area this will be a third part entering into the pterygopalatine fossa. Before it enters into pterygopalatine fossa, you can see it gives a branch here supplying the upper jaw. This branch is the posterior superior alveolar artery, right? And here you can see a smaller branch that is going to the orbit, that is the infraorbital artery. So you know the infraorbital artery passes through the infraorbital groove, then it comes out here through the infraorbital foramen. This is also infraorbital nerves and vessels, right? Fine. So maxillary artery divided into three parts. First part from the neck of mandible to the lower part of lateral pterygoid, also called as a mandibular part. Second part over or behind the lateral pterygoid, called as a pterygoid part. Third part within the pterygopalatine fossa, called as a pterygopalatine part. Branches from the first part of the maxillary artery: DAMAI, deep auricular artery, anterior tympanic artery, middle meningeal artery, accessory meningeal artery, and inferior alveolar artery, DAMAI. Branches from the second part corresponds to the branches of the anterior division of the mandibular nerve, that is the motor branches plus one sensory branch. So motor branches to deep temporal artery, mesenteric artery, pterygoid branches to lateral and medial pterygoid, and the sensory one accompanying the buccal nerve, that is the buccal branch or buccal artery. Third part within the pterygopalatine fossa gives 6 branches: PIGPAS, posterior superior alveolar artery, infraorbital artery, greater palatine artery, pharyngeal artery, artery of pterygoid canal, and sphenopalatine artery. Right? So here in this picture we can see the branches of the different parts of the maxillary artery. So which muscle divides the maxillary artery into three parts? Lateral pterygoid muscle, right? So schematic diagram of the maxillary artery showing all the branches. So coming to the veins which are present in the infratemporal fossa. So artery is the maxillary artery, so vein is the maxillary vein. So if you see the maxillary vein here, so here can you see the maxillary vein? So this part is the maxillary vein. So maxillary vein is not formed by the tributaries. So all the tributaries in the infratemporal fossa forms a plexus. That plexus is called as the pterygoid plexus of the veins. Okay. So this plexus which is present within the lateral pterygoid muscles. I already told you when the lateral pterygoid muscle contracts, it helps in pumping of the blood. Okay. So what are the communications of the lateral pterygoid venous plexus? This pterygoid venous plexus is having a communication with the facial vein by a vein here. This vein is called as the deep facial vein. Okay, so facial vein connects to the pterygoid plexus through the defacial vein, and the pterygoid plexus is connected to cavernous sinus by the emissary veins. So this is a route of communication. When there is any infection from the face, route travels to the pterygoid plexus to the cavernous sinus. So that's why this area of the face is called as a dangerous area of the face. So one communication of the pterygoid plexus with the facial vein, the second one is with the cavernous sinus, and third one is it is also connected to the inferior ophthalmic vein. Okay, so this pterygoid plexus will give rise to a single vein. That vein is a maxillary vein. That maxillary vein joins with the superficial temporal vein and forms this vein is called as a retromandibular vein. Okay, retromandibular vein divides into an anterior division and a posterior division. Anterior division joins with the facial vein and forms a common facial vein that drains into internal jugular vein. Posterior division joins with the posterior auricular vein, forms the external jugular vein. That we have already discussed in the face. Okay, so with this we are finishing the vessels of the infratemporal fossa.